Day 84, March 25th. The blocks of scripture for the one-year Bible, folks, Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 1 through 49. Luke chapter 6, verse 39 through chapter 7, verse 10. Psalm chapter 68, verse 1 through 18. And Proverbs chapter 11, verse 28. I want to look at Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 32 through 39 today. 32 through 39. For ask now of the days that are past, which were before you, since the day God created man on the earth, and ask from one end of heaven to the other whether such a great thing has ever happened or was ever heard of. Did any people ever hear the voice of God speaking out of the midst of fire, as you have heard and still live? Or has any God, lowercase g, so false God, non-existent God, ever attempted to go and take a nation for himself from the midst of another nation by trials, by signs, by wonders, and by war, by a mighty hand and an outstretched arm, and by great deeds of terror, all which the Lord your God did for you in Egypt before your eyes? To you it was shown that you might know that the Lord is God. There is no other beside him. I want to emphasize that. That the Lord is God, and there is no other beside him. Out of heaven he let you hear his voice, that he might discipline you, and on earth he let you see his great fire, and you heard his words out of the midst of the fire, because he loved you and your fathers, and chose their offspring after them, and brought you out of Egypt with his own presence, by his great power, driving out before you nations greater and mightier than yourselves, to bring you in, to give you their land for an inheritance, as it is this day. Know therefore today, and lay it to your heart, that the Lord is God in heaven above and on the earth beneath. There is no other. Therefore you shall keep his statutes and his commandments, which I command you today, and it may go well with you and your children after you, that you may prolong your days in the land which the Lord is giving you for all time. The reason I want to emphasize this section today is I heard a very disturbing thing the other day. I was talking to an individual, and it was a Christian, and I use quotes because of this, and you'll understand as we go through. It was a Christian saying that there are other gods and there are other truths. We just have to accept those gods, we have to accept those truths, and we just have to keep Jesus as the top God. He is the OG. He is the top God. The rest, they're still gods and they're still truths, and we need to... They even tried twisting some scripture to prove this. I'm not going to lie. It flabbergasted me. It irritated me. It made this righteous anger kind of come up in me. Not against that person, but against that lie. You see, Jesus is very clear when in the Gospels he says he is the way, not a way, not the best way, but the way. And he says that there is no way to the Father except through him. There's not multiple truths. There's one truth, and it's right here. Cover to cover. This is the truth of God. And that truth indwelt in Jesus. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. And through him all things were made. Without him nothing would be made that has been made. It's Jesus. He is the indwelling of the truth. He's it. That's all of it. It's all recorded here. And then in this section, God is very clear, saying over and over, he is the one God. There's not another one. Who created things in the beginning? Was there another God that did it too? No, there's only one God that did it. Oh, was there another God that did all these miraculous things with a people group? No. There never has been, and there will never be again. This is like a one point in history. There is no other nation in the world with a history quite like Israel's. Name one nation that disappeared completely and then reappeared to fulfill Scripture. Israel was gone until after the World Wars. Then lo and behold, oh, it's a nation again. Find another dead language that has come back to life. And I show you the Israeli language, Hebrew. It's just awe-inspiring that somebody would say, yeah, there's many gods. We just have to keep Jesus at the top. That's not the truth we see in the Bible. That's not the God we see in the Bible. That goes against everything the Bible teaches and says. This section is pretty danged clear. There is one God. There is no other. Follow Him and follow Him only. You don't need any additives. Additives only dilute the truth. Take care of yourselves out there.